Okay, it's all right. I'll just video. I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Is that the warrant, is it, that's signed by the judge under oath?
Well,
when you're writing out? What's that?
It's called a sticker.
So where's the warrant that you said you were going to show me that's signed?
Just showed it, yeah.
But it's not signed, is it?
If you want to see a signed copy, go down and see the court, okay?
Whereabouts is that?
That would be Northampton County Court.
Well, I'm not going to drive to Northampton today, obviously.
Well, then you need to ring them up and don't you?
But surely you must have a signed warrant, a copy.
No, we don't.
Why haven't you got a copy of it?
Because, like I said, we have thousands of warrants per week, okay?
Yeah.
And the thousands of warrants per week,
Yeah.
he hasn't got time to sign every judge.
So because he has...
No, listen. So under the Tribunal Courts in Enforcement Act 2007, they cannot sign them, okay? And we don't need to sign one anyway.
So you just said he hasn't got time to sign the warrant.
No, I didn't say that.
You did. It's on video. You've just said the judge hasn't got time to sign the warrant. We're in Stratford-upon-Avon, by the way, Mason's Road.
Good for you.
So because the judge hasn't got time to sign the warrant, he never signed it. You've just told me.
No, the signed ones, what you want to see, would be with the court.
So why haven't you got these signed warrants? Anybody can write on a bit of paper something.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they can.
Well, if that's what you think, that's what you think.
But where's the signed warrant? If he hasn't got time to sign them. How can there be a signed warrant if he doesn't have time to sign them? Do you see what I mean? What's your name, sorry?
You'll get my name in a minute.
Here we are, Mason's Road, Stratford-upon-Avon. Stratford-upon-Avon, taking a car worth £200 off somebody who has nothing. Welcome to England. So what law is this under? You're doing this under?
Tribunal Courts Enforcement Act 2007.
Tribunal Courts and Enforcement Act
2007.
2007. What's that allow you to do then?
Pardon?
What's that allow you to do?
Look it up.
What? You look it up?
I don't need to look it up.
No, I just said what's that allow you to do? You just said look it up.
You look it up.
Do you know what it's allowed to do?
Yes, I do. Well, I won't be doing it.
Can you tell me?
I don't need to. You look it up. Every time you pull that off, I will ring the police.
It's my car.
Don't care.
Still my car.
It's not your car. This now belongs to the courts.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, you've got no proof of that.
Yeah, I have.
You've got no signed warrant.
Yeah, I have.
Can you show me it?
Told you.
Can you not show me the signed warrant?
I've told you.
No.
I'll just write you paperwork out and you can have it, okay?
I still need to see a signed warrant of the judge acting under oath. Because you've just clamped my car illegally.
No.
You haven't shown me anything.
Right, if I clamp your car illegally then, right, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to call the police now. You think I've clamped your car illegally?
You've not shown me anything, any signed warrant whatsoever.
Yeah,
He's calling the police because he doesn't know what else to do. No authority whatsoever. I mean, why on earth would somebody possibly want to do this? What sort of a person is he? Sort of a person takes cars off people with nothing.
Now, I'm on Mason's Road. Yeah, this is Stratford-upon-Avon. Yeah, I'm an enforcement agent. They're lovely filming me.
My right to do so, it's a public place.
boots are not just taking a sticker off the vehicle is criminal damage to the...
No, there's a vehicle on the sticker.
Yeah, I've told him what obviously law this is under, but he's saying it needs to be a signed warrant. You don't have a signed warrant.
Yeah, it's got to be a signed warrant.
People who actually have signed warrants, it's the judge. We just have the copies of them.
I'd like a signed warrant from the judge and proof he's acting under
I
oath
don't
when
work
he
for the
signs it.
council at all. Yeah, it's marked as holding.
So I have to get you all in the video just for you know, our own safety, make sure nobody can say anyone's done anything that they haven't.
Yeah, I have, yeah. But it's not actually a ticket.
He doesn't want his
Removing
face
the
on.
vehicle. You can walk round me, sir.
Look, he doesn't want his face shown. Too late, it's shown.
It's Adrian Webster.
51 Masons Road. And I have the warrant that you said you were going to give me. Look at him, he's turning his back. He doesn't want to be seen for some reason. I can't really see what he's got to hide.
Yeah, alright then, no problem at all. Thank you. Right, I threw your paperwork down.
Police coming, Ali.
Yeah, they are.
That's a waste of the taxpayers' money.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you got the paperwork you said you were going to give me?
I'm just filming it now.
Lovely. And is it to seize the vehicle?
Yeah, it's obviously so he's just leave with them.
That's fine. Have you got paperwork from Mr. Webster?
That's what I'm just doing
Okay.
now, yeah.
All right. Hello, Mr. Webster.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. How are you?
All right, thank you.
All right. Do you understand why this chap's here?
No, he's turned up and he's parking illegally. Look at this.
Yeah. All right. I'll deal with that later on. But I need to
Right.
obviously speak to you in relation to what's
Yeah.
going on here. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you understand what's going on?
No, I don't. He's just turned up banging on me door like there's no tomorrow.
Okay.
Starts smashing on me windows
Okay.
out there.
Right. Okay.
Starts smashing on the windows. I thought I was being attacked or something.
Okay.
And he's just put something on my car, a sticker.
Okay.
I went to take it off. He
That
said,
one is
and he said, don't move it because it's not your property, the
Okay.
car.
Have you had a look at what the sticker is then?
No, he's
Should we go and have a
yeah,
look?
he's all he's done. He's turned up. He's refused to show me a copy of the signed warrant by a judge acting under oath. So I don't want my car taken. So I don't really want him to take my car. He hasn't got any right to take it.
Well, I'm afraid he does, sir. That's the issue that he's got. Is that he's got legal paperwork which he's going to give you.
Yeah, but it's not
Okay.
signed, is it? It's the paperwork.
That's what they're doing now. That's what he's sorting out.
Mm.
If you have a look at the official document that he had on, have
Yeah.
you looked at the PDF at all?
That's a big-
The tablet thing that he had, the computer.
I can't see it. I can't see anything
Okay.
on that.
All right. Have you got any? Is it you physically can't see it, or is it just the case you haven't been able to have a look at it?
Well, he just shows you it quickly, and that's it. You haven't got time to read all that. I'll
Okay.
need hours.
All right. Well, we'll go back and have
Yeah.
a look at that in a minute. Okay. So, what this is saying? Have you managed to read this while we've been stood here?
No.
Okay. Come and read that with him for me, if that's all right.
Where's the signature?
Here.
Is that the judge? Is it?
That's the enforcement officer.
Oh, that's him.
hence
That's
the
not a
enforcement
judge.
agent.
But
But he's acting on behalf of the court. So it's just in relation to some unpaid items that are outstanding.
right.
Okay. So we'll go and find out what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't this a bit of a waste of your time? There's been no threat or anything like
Well,
that.
he obviously
There's-
this gentleman here does feel that. So
Oh,
it's
God,
not a waste
yeah.
of my time. If I need to get this sorted, then
Yeah,
we
I've
will.
got everything on video, so
That's fine,
he
so
could,
have I.
yeah.
No problem.
So I've done it so he can't make it lies about me. You know what they're like.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
he's got the documentation in front of him, which he needs to have a look at, and he needs to execute on behalf of the court. Okay.
Right. Mhm.
What he's saying is that unfortunately you won't let him in the property to take goods of the value that he needs. And I think it's 150 something, but I'll double check the amount in a minute. Okay.
He's got no right to go into my property whatsoever.
He does. He's got a high court writ that allows him to go into the property.
Signed by a judge.
Yes, exactly. The county
It
court
needs to be
allows him.
signed by a judge.
They are.
Acting under oath.
They are signed by that. He's acting on behalf of the court, hence why he signed the enforcement officer's signature on that sticker that's on your car.
Can you move him because he's parked illegally?
Not at the moment, sir. No,
No.
we're dealing with this problem
Okay.
first. All right.
Right, this is your paperwork, sir.
What?
Tells you exactly what's owed, £550.
Right.
Okay. Gives you a breakdown. Okay.
What's it for?
I've already clearly told you what it's for. I'm not going to keep going on. But
Where's his signature from the judge?
again, I don't have to keep going on with you.
This lady said you'd got a signature from the judge.
What's written on the
She just said you've got a
documentation?
signature
What's written
from
on
the judge.
documentation?
Hello, morning.
I'll tell you right.
Yes, thank you. I'm just filming for my own protection, so
Right,
this man
just-
can't say I've
just to
harmed him
make-
in it.
Right,
and, you
okay,
know,
so just to make you aware, and I'll make you aware as well, officers, Tribune Courts and Enforcement Act 2007, we do not have to carry a wet signature, we don't have to carry a signature. If he wants to see that, he would have to go to the court to see that. Okay? Okay?
this lady's just said you've got a signed
He's
one.
got the documentation. He's allowed to take that card to the sum of, I think it's on here, Mr. Webster, if you pass me that. So he's allowed to take the documentation.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's the amount you owe is £550. Okay. It's broken it down into bits and pieces on here for you. Okay, so you can see that. This is who you owe the money to. Okay, so you need to go to them and speak to them about what the money's for and what the breakdown is for, and then speak to them about.
It's incorrect. If you ring these people up,
That's not our job.
no,
sir.
I know it is.
That's
do,
your
do you
job.
know what they say? They say, "Hello, welcome to Berkshire County Council."
Yeah.
And when you ask them if you can come down, they say, "Well, we're in Oldham, which is Greater Manchester."
Okay.
And I'll say, "So you're not Warwickshire County Council?" They say, "No, we're not." They answer the phone and they tell you they're Warwickshire County Council. It seems a bit wrong that it should be farmed out, 130 miles away. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, that's sort of not what we're here to deal with today.
No,
I'm
I
afraid,
know
Mr.
that, I know.
Webster.
What are you two actually here for then? Can I ask?
Prevent breach of the peace.
Okay, there's going to be no breach of the peace. I'm just phoning the guy. Videoing him. That's all.
That's fine. That's what we're here to do,
Okay.
just to make sure. Okay. So if you want to take the documentation, Mr. Webster,
Not really.
it's your documentation.
I've just been it.
Okay, that's fine. So
You'll just do it, that's fine, we'll remove the vehicle.
Yeah, that's up to you what you want to do with that, but you owe them £550 and the chap is allowed to take your vehicle in relation to that, okay?
That's worth quite a few quid. So if you've got more than 500, it's highly collectible.
But again, you won't allow the
Cost 110 for us to remove it. Okay, when it goes into storage, it's £75 per day, depending on how long it gets sold for. And then you've obviously got the storage fees, seller fees, and auctioneer fees.
I still
So
don't
probably
want him to
worth
take my car. I don't
removing.
think he's going to be right to it. Do you think he's got the right to take the car?
If he's got a signed.
No, he hasn't got a sign.
Sorry,
no?
if he's got the paperwork to do it,
Yeah. But you
the
just
authority
said,
to do it.
if he's got a signed, what were you going to say?
If he's assigned
Yeah.
As
the
signed,
documentation,
Got to be signed
do
by a
that.
judge. I can't
It
see
doesn't have to be
anything
signed
signed
by
by
a
a judge, you see. So it could be anybody making it up.
So in all honesty, what we're dealing with there is all the civil law.
Yeah.
Yeah, I practice in criminal law. Okay, so that side of it, I'll be honest with you, I don't know a great deal of it.
No, so how come you're here if you do? With,
We are here
Yeah.
to deal with the breach of the peace, which is which could be the criminal side of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
The gentleman's
Okay.
called us because
Yeah.
potentially you've come out filming, and I don't know what's happened before we've arrived. Okay, I don't know any of that.
I'm filming for
Okay.
you.
No, that's fine. Nobody's disputing you filming, chap.
Because he was extremely angry, banging
Okay.
on them windows and
So-
doors.
That's
I
absolutely
actually
fine.
thought I was being attacked. Scared. I was going to ring
got
them
it on your
myself.
door, it's filmed as well.
So- We're
He's
here
got
to
it,
make
he's got
sure.
it on camera, him smashing on the windows.
Yeah. So,
right, okay.
so we're here to make sure nothing like that happens whilst we're here, okay?
Mm.
That the side of your car, if you're not able to agree something on site, then he has the paperwork to say that he can take that car away. Okay, that's him and the council. Unless you're able to pay the fine to him, then he's been given the power to take that car away.
I don't owe any money, and he hasn't really explained. I don't understand what this money's for.
Again, I can't help you out there because
all I do is I park outside my own house.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I do. I just park outside my own house. I ain't got much money or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal person trying to make ends meet, you know, and this sort of thing.
I'm not here to judge you,
Yeah.
sir. I'm not here to say
Yeah,
that
I know.
you've. At the end of the day, something's happened where he's been given the power to come and take that car away through whatever has happened in the past for that to come about.
What's the name of that street, by the way?
I think it's Mason's Way. I'll go and double check though. I've got the sign.
He doesn't even know the name of the street. He's been here half hour.
I don't need to know the name of the street. I'm just asking.
With all due respect, I don't either. But I don't work this area, so.
Can you get him to move that car? Because I mean, he's like you. He's parked illegally. I don't know whether you're allowed to because you're dealing with an apparent incident. But you both look to me to be parked illegally on the path.
I'm exempt on the fact as I'm dealing with an incident.
So you're
So if I was to park there and wander off into town, that's abuse of power. Okay, but I'm dealing with a job. I'm parking at just.
Yeah.
The reason I'm parking like that, sir, is one, to give people the freedom to walk on the path. Also, the freedom to keep that traffic flowing.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the reason why I've given my car that distance.
But what about this guy? He's not a police officer. He probably wanted to be, but he's not a police officer. He's parked illegally as well. I think he could quite easily park over there in a parking bay, but look what he's doing. And he's here to apparently enforce traffic regulations.
He is, and that's also dealt with by the council, not us.
So you can come here for a breach of the peace, but you can't make him move that vehicle.
As far as I'm aware, the local council deal with the parking issues around here, not us. As far as I'm aware.
We can get him to move.
But if it's an obstruction, that's when our power comes into it, which is
Yeah,
a big...
I feel that is an obstruction for women with pushchairs. Look, there's what? I don't think you'd have...
No, so I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but in order for the police to invoke their powers, it has to be a full absolute obstruction. And that's because it's been taken away from us. It's been dealt with civilly by the councils. So, because it's not a complete obstruction...
So, because it's a partial obstruction,
so if it
really. It's a partial obstruction, so he doesn't have to move it.
For example, if he was blocking somebody's driveway that they can't get their car out, that's classed as an obstruction. We would then ask him to move it, and we could then remove it.
But do you agree he's parked? Do you not think he's parked illegally? Look, it's on the path. You're not supposed to park on paths. People walk on them. It's, you know, a person who's partially sighted may walk into his car.
We've already had people walk past this morning, Mr. Webster.
Yeah, but I know, but they're not everybody. You know, there's disabled people, like I say, partially sighted.
With all due respect, Mr. Webster, we're digressing from the issue that we're trying to deal with. Let's get that dealt with first. Okay. I appreciate it's quite stressful for you, and I appreciate that it's annoying for you.
But the reason it's stressful, you know what's going on in this country. I mean, look, they're robbing the poor left, right and centre. We're being robbed left, right and centre. You can't tell me you're any different. You're not a rich man, are you, in monetary terms, so you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, and they seem to be robbing us all in every way possible.
I understand where you're coming from, sir, I really do.
You know, you look at the...
I don't know the circumstances.
If you were to look at the Hampstead abuse case in Christchurch Primary, you tell me why they're ignoring that when it's the truth. You know, what's going on in this country that they can just do this to us? We let them do it, don't we? We do. We police one another, in effect. You'll call the police, but we actually police one another, because that's what that guy's there is doing. That's just his job. Yet what's he doing? He's policing. He's taking people's things who haven't got anything at all. You know, it just seems wrong to me.
Like I said, I understand your circumstances. I don't know what's led to this situation, and it's obviously sad that you can't come to an agreement to get your car back at this stage.
Yeah, I come to an agreement with. It was a few months ago. The traffic warden got a thing on, bit of paper on the car, and I said, "What's that?" And she said, "It's a."
Where was it? What part there?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And she said, "Oh, you have to pay money." I said, "Well, can anybody do that? Write on bits of paper, stick them on a windscreen and say you owe money." And she said, "Yes, but you have to have a job for Warwickshire County Council." And I said, "Oh, good, I've got one of those." And she just walked off. It's a strange thing. Anybody who works for Warwickshire County Council can, in effect, put something on this windscreen and say you owe money, according to her. But that's another issue. Seems a bit strange though. You know, you park outside your house, you try and earn a
This
living.
gentleman doesn't want to be
Right. You try and earn a living, and they do things like this to you.
like I said, so I can't disagree with you on certain things, and I get that. But obviously, something's happened where it's been left so long that they've decided this is the choice that they're going to deal with it.
Mr. Webster, you don't know what the fine is for then? Can you get permits to park?
It's a permit. Apparently, it reads. I think this is a permit, something to do with a permit.
Okay.
But I mean, I live here, so you know.
Yeah, but aren't councils now giving permits out to residents in order to park there because they're stopping people that work or
What they
travel
do, okay.
just to park in places like the way you'd want to park as a resident?
Nobody ever parks there. You know they don't. You're local. You know
So,
full well. You can
I'm
go
not going to
here.
remind you again. I don't know this area. I don't work in this area. I work over in Warwick.
Perhaps your colleague does, but I can tell you now, yeah, nobody ever parks there. Nobody.
But that doesn't mean if
That's
you still need a permit, it doesn't matter if
Yeah, but you both must know it's just a way of making money. You know, they charge
I
you.
don't know whether. I mean, again, I don't know the circumstances. Where I come from, the councils issue people that live there. You pay a small amount of money for a year's permit, and you can give visitors permits to come and visit your property. And all that does, it stops people that commute or that come to the town to park, and they park where people live. It's in order to stop all that,
Yeah,
so that
in
you
theory,
can park
yeah,
freely.
it is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I get that, but a lot of that comes from residents complaining because they can't park outside their own houses. So the council, I mean, they're clearly not going to pay for stuff, are they?
No,
so
no,
they are
nobody
going to expect people to pay up a little bit. So in order for them to bring all the paperwork up, somebody's got to pay for it. So they pass some of that cost back to residents. Fairly or unfairly? I mean, you can always argue that.
Unfairly, I'll tell you why. Because if you haven't got any money like me, and sometimes you have to buy a cheap car, you know what they do? They charge you a fiver every time you do that. Charge you a fiver, literally, to ring up somebody in Greater Manchester who claims to be Warwickshire County Council, and they're not, so they're liars. And they charge you a fiver just to change your car registration.
Right, okay.
You know, that's just, I mean, that's plain wrong. I know it's nothing to do with you, but I'm just trying to highlight what's going on in this country of ours. You know, it's supposed to be such a wonderful place. You know, it's a bit like I look at it like a cream cake, you know, with lots of nice things on, and when you bite into it, it's dog food. You know, that's how I see it. You know, but it's going on everywhere. I mean, there's guys like this. You know, I can't understand why anybody would want to get against his common man. You know, I just don't get it at all. You know, perhaps he always wanted to be a policeman, but didn't make it, and so he thought it'd be the next best thing. Maybe, who knows?
Okay. Have you not actually spoken to anybody about this before?
No.
See, sometimes, I mean, ignorance is never an excuse in these cases. They won't take it. So if they believe they've sent you letters, then they'll.
Well, he said he sent letters, but if you were to look, this is a communal letterbox. We get our post because the postman can't always get in. We get our post sometimes 5 days, 7 days late, if at all. And I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can get into those flats. You know, you very rarely get post. Yeah, they won't do anything because I don't think Orbit will give the post office a key for people. You know, any residences post office. So there's nothing that can be done about that whatsoever. But we don't, you know, lots of us don't get it. Or you get it very late. It's all that's going to happen with this video. It's going to go on YouTube and Facebook, that's all. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to have a sign. I'm not sure anyway. I don't want him to take my car. Could you stop him from taking my car? So I think what he's doing is illegal. If you're not stopping him, he's going to take my car illegally, I believe. You stop him. I don't want him to take my car. I'm just saying that to you, trying to make it clear. I think he's taken my car illegally. He has no warrant signed by a judge acting under oath. He's just going to take my car. It doesn't seem right to me. I don't want him to take my property.
I mean, I'll just see what's going on with this. I mean, have you not spoken to anybody at all? So you've not had any. I mean, like I said to you, sometimes ignoring letters makes things worse.
And sometimes you don't
Because,
get them.
well,
You had tickets for your car. Not today, I mean previously. You said earlier on that there was somebody that came out and stuck something on your car.
did you pay that ticket that you had? You said that
It's
was
just
put on the car.
someone put something on the car, so I'll rip it off and bin it.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's, I said ignorance isn't an excuse.
No, I know, but you can't just surely in this country, you can't just
But
put a bit of
if
paint
you,
on
if
the
yeah,
car
but
and
if
say
you
you
took
owe
that off
money.
Reddit, you may well be able to have a discussion with somebody because, like, sometimes innocent people do get mixed up and embroiled in things. But with a discussion, somebody would then understand what's gone on and then probably explain the process better to you, and you wouldn't find yourself in this boat. But like I said, ignorance isn't an excuse. So if you choose to ignore it, then you find yourself in this situation where they have the power then, because if you ignore the council are, like I said, governed by a civil law. They have a process that they have to follow. They can't just go and do this because they know that they can't. Okay, there is a process they have to go through. They'd be criticised if they didn't do it.
I did get a ticket a few months back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the police said, the police, no, the police said to us, we're really sorry about that. They said, tell them it's our fault and you'll get it squashed.
Did you tell them that it was their fault then?
It's any point, it's a ticket.
Right.
You know,
Well,
this is the police drove me car and got in my car.
Okay.
And
But you didn't have a conversation with somebody.
no,
Well, there you go. Like I said, ignorance is not an excuse. So the fact that you choose not to speak to somebody, even on the advice of a police officer, to say that that had happened, then you're not helping yourself, are you, at the end of the day? In this situation, you haven't really helped yourself.
fault though. So, like I say, he's got to have it. He hasn't shown me anything. How long have you been here now, wasting your time? No, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
If we're stopping you getting yourself in trouble, you know, we're not wasting our time, are we? There's no point.
Even know the name of the street. He's been here half hour.
I don't need to know the name of the street, I'm just asking.
With all due respect, I don't either. But I don't work this area, so.
Can you get him to move that car? Because I mean, it's like you. He's parked illegally. I don't know whether you're allowed to because you're dealing with an apparent incident. But you both look to me to be parked illegally on the path.
I'm exempt on the fact as I'm dealing with an incident.
So you're exempt.
So if I was to park there and wander off into town, that's abuse of power. Okay, but I'm dealing with a job. I'm parking that just.
Yeah.
The reason I'm parking like that, sir, is one, to give people the freedom to walk in the path. Also, the freedom to keep that traffic flowing.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the reason why I've given my car that distance.
But what about this guy? He's not a police officer. He probably wanted to be, but he's not a police officer. He's parked illegally as well. I think he could quite easily park over there in a parking bay, but look what he's doing. And he's here to apparently enforce traffic regulations.
He is, and that's also dealt with by the council, not us.
So you can come here for a breach of the peace, but you can't make him move that vehicle.
As far as I'm aware, the local council deal with the parking issues around here, not us. As far as I'm aware.
We can get him to move.
But if it's an obstruction, that's when our power comes into it, which is,
Yeah,
I think...
I feel that is an obstruction for women with pushchairs. Look, there's what? I don't think you'd have...
So I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but in order for the police to invoke their powers, it has to be a full absolute obstruction. And that's because it's been taken away from us. It's been dealt with civilly by the councils. So, because it's not a complete obstruction...
So, because it's a partial obstruction,
so if it,
really. It's a partial obstruction, so he doesn't have to move it.
For example, if he was blocking somebody's driveway that they can't get their car out, that's classed as an obstruction. We would then ask him to move it, and we could then remove it.
But do you agree he's parked? Do you not think he's parked illegally? Look, it's on the path. You're not supposed to park on paths. People walk on them. It's, you know, a person who's partially sighted may walk into his car.
We've already had people walk past this morning, Mr. Webster.
Yeah, but I know, but they're not everybody. You know, there's disabled people, like I say, partially sighted.
With all due respect, Mr. Webster, we're digressing from the issue that we're trying to deal with. Let's get that dealt with first. Okay. I appreciate it's quite stressful for you, and I appreciate that it's annoying for you. But
The reason it's stressful, you know what's going on in this country. I mean, look, they're robbing the poor left, right and centre. We're being robbed left, right and centre. You can't tell me you're any different. You're not a rich man, are you, in monetary terms, or you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, and they seem to be robbing us all in every way possible.
I understand where you're coming from, sir. I really do.
You know, you look at the,
I don't know the circumstances.
If you were to look at the Hampstead abuse case in Christchurch Primary, and you tell me why they're ignoring that when it's the truth. You know, what's going on in this country that they can just do this to us? We let them do it, don't we? We do. We police one another.